What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB. I'm here tonight with the review for Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 2 Reunion Part 2. It's finally done. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. You know what, man? My energy on this week is so much better than it was last week, because last week when I got to the Reunion Part 1, I was done. And it's still late. You know what? And it's not even 11 o'clock tonight. So I am so good. I should have this stuff up by 11:30 or even, oh god, it'll probably be midnight, but it'll be up pretty soon. So we're just gonna jump right into it. So the episode picks up where it left off last week with Trina and Trick going back and forth with each other. Like, that shit got ugly, and they just, started throwing insults at one another. I'm like, well, damn, like, y'all ain't never gonna be able to do a TNT album, even though nobody was really checking for that shit, but y'all will never be able to do a TNT album. So once that's all settled and done, because Trina leaves the stage and goes backstage, and we move into Prince. And, Nina asked him, how did he get into music? So Prince said he got into the music, by being in the studio with Bobby and Pleasure P. I'm like, well, you should have just stayed in the studio and didn't try to do music, but okay, whatever. I'm not going to knock your thing, but, I don't think music is for you. But again, not going to knock you. So we got Bobby out there in the audience, and he is hyping Prince up. I'm like, Bobby, shut the fuck up. Because I heard that Poppy Shampoo song, and it sucked major balls. So then we move into the thing between Chaotic and Prince, how, Chaotic jumped over the car trying to get at Prince. And, Chaotic was like, he didn't see the comparison to talk about his family, whereas he was talking about fucking his girl. And Nina even had to mention that, but you was around him and his girl, so there was definitely a comparison. You might not have saw it, but there was a comparison. You talking about fucking his girl, he trying to get you to see how it would feel if he was talking about somebody that you were close to. And Veronica says, you should, even if you felt that shit, you should have kept that shit to yourself, which I definitely agree with her on that one. And Prince's whole thing was, he just wanted to be respected as Chaotic's friend, and Chaotic is like, nigga, we ain't no friends, like, you my co-worker, like, we ain't friends. And Prince is like, cool, okay, if that's the case, we just co-workers. So then Chaotic says that Liz came and got in his face, and she was like, her pussy in his face, and she said, you want to eat, or something like that, saying, yeah, what you want to eat. So then those two started going back and forth with one another. And Prince was like, I'm not afraid of you. Like, if you want to shoot or whatever, we can do that. And if you want to fight, we can do that. And did I hear Prince say correctly that he got jumped by some people that Chaotic are cool with? Like, if that happened, that's some punk ass move. Like, why would you jump somebody? If you can't fight them one-on-one, don't jump them. Don't jump nobody. Don't shoot nobody. Don't stab nobody. If you can't fight somebody one-on-one and get your ass beat, then you don't need to be fighting, period, point blank. That's just how I feel about the situation. Period, point, fucking blank. All right, so the next thing, we just going to include it all in one. I separated it out, but we're going to include it all in one because it has to deal with that dumbass JoJo. So, we're talking about Shay snatching JoJo's wig off. And Shay says that, when it came down to JoJo, since she and JoJo were starting to build a relationship with one another, she just felt hurt that, she cut her off because she was dating Pleasure P. So Nina was like, did you care? She asked Pleasure P, did he care for JoJo? He was like, we only went on about 1 or 2 days, so it wasn't nothing like super duper serious. So then JoJo, she says that, when she told Amara she was friends with, becoming cool with Shay, that Amara told her to, watch her back around Shay, that she was messy. So JoJo is like, Amara was in her ex's DMs, but Amara says, nah, bitch, it was the other way around. Your ex was in my DMs, and you was out there being a thought and whatnot. And, Shay says that, JoJo called her to vent about Amara and whatnot. And at the end of it, Shay just wanted an apology from, JoJo because of what happened. Like I said, she thought they were being friends with one another. And then for you to just turn your back on her out of nowhere. And then she also wants an apology for JoJo because JoJo said that she had cancer and it was just fibroids. And, we are going to kind of move on from now because I really didn't care too much. So then we talk about Amara, how she was upset with JoJo about her laughing at Bobby talking about her on the VMA's red carpet. And she was also upset that, JoJo said that her mama put voodoo in her food. And, Veronica caped up for Amara as well. And I'm like, everybody is ganging up on JoJo. Like, JoJo got to feel like shit sitting on that stage. Like, and then Prince says, he was upset about what JoJo said. And JoJo's like, you know what, Prince, I apologize to you. And then she gonna throw Bobby under the bus talking about, she said she wasn't gonna say nothing, but then she sat there and said that Bobby told her that he was in love with Prince. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, shut up. And then Tip goes off on JoJo. I'm like, thank you for going, like, JoJo said, Tip said what everybody has said. God don't like ugly, it's karma. It ain't no fucking roots, it ain't no voodoo, it ain't no none of that shit. It's what you put out into the atmosphere and you getting it back. Like, shut the flying fuck up. Okay, so then we talk about, the whole beef between JoJo and Veronica. So Nina asked JoJo, did she really want to squash the beef with Veronica? She said, yeah. And so Nina was like, well, would you want to have squashed the beef with her? And Veronica says, hell no, like, that bitch is shit. I wipe my pussy with her. I'm like, oh, vulgar. Whew. All right, so then we move over to the fucking roots conversation. So JoJo finally says she don't know shit about roots. She don't know nothing about roots, voodoo, santeria, something else. She don't know nothing about nothing. So why would you sit here and say that Amara put fucking roots on you if you don't know nothing about the bullshit? Like, you made yourself look fucking ignorant and stupid as fuck. Oh God, JoJo's full of shit. And Amara said at the end of the day, fuck you, you dumb bitch. Like, I agree with Amara. Fuck you. Like, you gonna sit here and you are offending people who do practice voodoo, santeria, roots and whatnot, and you making it like it's a bad thing. Like, dumbass. And Bobby, he apologized to Amara for his part and everything. I'm like, that's big of Bobby to apologize to him. So then we talk about Bobby's relationship with Prince. And Bobby says, he does have love for Prince, and he does love Prince, but he loves Prince like a brother. And when it comes down to his relationship with anybody, he's very possessive, which we can clearly see that bullshit. So then, Nina asks, what's the status of Bobby and Prince's relationship? They are cool with one another, but they're just not as close as they used to be with one another. And, Prince is talking about how they, Bobby is flamboyant and so is he. Like, nigga, we see that. And, Nina asked, what was the breaking point in the relationship with them? And Prince was like, when he hit me, like, I'm like, shit, I can guarantee you that would be an ending part for me too if a motherfucker put their hands on me. So then, Nina asked them about the whole confrontation between Prince, Bobby, Tip, and Liz. So Prince is like, when it comes down to the relationship with them, he hadn't really talked to them for about 6 months or so. But he said that he did tell them that, if he did get back with Liz, to stop him. But he ended up getting back with her. So, they should have just let that go. And then we see Liz and Tip, they go back and forth with one another. When Tip started screaming, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck Tip is saying, because she's screaming a mile a minute, almost like Trina. But, they calmed that shit down. And then, he talking about how Bobby and him were breaking boundaries. Nigga, what boundaries were y'all breaking? Please inform us, enlighten us on what boundaries y'all was breaking. So he says that, he and Liz are in a good spot with each other. Cool, done, moving on. All right, so then we talked to Gunplay and Kiara. We asked where they are in their relationship. They're not together. Gunplay, he really does care about Kiara, and he wants to be with Kiara. But, Kiara can't get past, all the things he's done to her. And, Gunplay is like, what, if she can't get past it, I'm not going to sit here and try to waste my time with it. But again, he does care about her. And, he says that all this is new for him. And I get that. And Spectacular did chime in and say, what, if this is new to him, let him be a better man. Let him be the man that you want him to be. And if it's meant to be, like, y'all be back to, y'all can get back together or whatnot. And I definitely agree with what he was saying. So then we move over to the whole Amara thing. And, Amara said she was in his DM to be, for business, because her manager said that he had a booking for Gunplay, and did she know his number? She was like, no, I didn't know his number. So she just went and DM'd him. She asked for his number, and yeah, it was strictly business. So Gunplay says that he only wants Kiara, but she wants some time to herself, which I understand that. Like, if he's done something, like last season we had to deal with the drug use, this season it was the cheating and all that shit. So I definitely get where she's coming from. Like, she just needs a little bit of time to herself and figure out what she wants to do. And if all roads leads back to Gunplay, then we'll see her with him. I wish him nothing but the best of luck, and you can clearly tell that Gunplay does care about Kiara. So I just wish those two the best of luck in the future. All right, so then we move over to Jessie Woo, and I'm actually call her about her name, Chinese Kitty. I did write on my notes Meowth2, but I'm actually call her Chinese Kitty today because this was a serious scene. So they talk about them talking about the Me Too movement and how they talked about them being raped. Jessie said she has gotten a lot of support from that, but then she also got a lot of backlash from people talking about why this and why that and why didn't she leave with her friend? Like, you don't sit there and ask somebody who was raped why they did anything. Like, that's stupid as shit. Like, so let me, and I'm gonna put this in terms for people who don't understand it. Like, that's like you've been in, it's not equivalent, but this is like if you were driving on the street and somebody runs into the back of your car. You want somebody to ask you, why did you get hit, and why did you get rear-ended? Why did you get sideswiped? Why did you get T-boned? Would you want somebody to ask you some stupid questions like that? That was not something that you prepared for. That was not something that you wanted to happen to you. So that's the same. It's not the same, but it's just putting into light. Jessie did not put herself into that situation. She did not ask for somebody to take anything from her virtue, it is virtue, not virginity virtue, but her virtue as a woman. She did not ask to be violated. She did not ask for any of that shit. So for people to say why this and why that is dumb as fuck. That girl did not ask for a man to rape her. Like, no means no. And I think people need to learn that shit. Like, what the fuck? And, Chinese Kitty says that, what was that? Yeah, she said, she got some DMs of support from women after the episode. And I did like that. And, Trina, Nina asked Trina how did she feel about it. And she just wanted Jessie to, take the power, not be the victim, to uplift herself, build herself up. If music is what you wanted to do, don't let that deter you from doing it. And she just, and I like the fact that Amara was very supportive of her as well. So that was it for the reunion. They talked about the best moments of the season, and they talked about what they got going on. Trina got her album coming out. Amara bought her mama her house, and she got her EP out. Young Hollywood, he got something going on with Chaotic, and he also asked Shay on a date. But you guys, that was the end of Love and Hip Hop Miami. We won't see Love and Hip Hop Miami until January of 2020. Thank you, God. So like the video, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.